right, welcome back, Podus Operandi. New year, another episode with my co-hosts Steve Fletch and Mitch out on the East Coast, Long Island and Pennsylvania, respectively. And I'm at Sixes and Sevens Skate Shop in San Diego, Rancho Penasquitos. Nice, just rung it up on the old Lizzie Indy truck while I was doing the intro. For this episode, new year, the skate, I don't know, media output has been pretty dry and slow this time of year. I feel like nothing's really going on. No one's traveling. So we put a post on Instagram saying, let us know what topics you want us to talk about or questions. And we got a bunch. Thanks for all the responses. And so we're going to put those in the trademarked randomizer and pull them out and spit, knowledge and stupidity about these topics here, as we're prone to do. How are you guys doing out there on the East Coast?
We're wet.
Yeah, hoping that the power doesn't go out.
But no snow. Yeah. Oh, are there like blackouts? Is that why? What's going on?
Yeah, they're saying like there's potential power outages because it's like 60-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard 75 the other day by me, so I'm right at the water. So
I'll be in New York tomorrow for like the rest of the month.
Yeah, weather's not looking great for the next week or so at least.
I know. I got a photo show on Saturday, so we're recording this on January 9th. So I'm not sure when it'll hit the airwaves, but I got a photo show on Saturday, the 13th in Brooklyn. So,
and where at, Blair? Let's plug this one while we're at it.
It's called Here BK. It's my friends. It's like a gallery and coffee shop, and so they have like a different artist every month that kind of their art stays up all month, and they'll do like an opening reception one night. So yeah, Saturday night will be the reception, but if this doesn't come out in time or if people can't make it, my photos will be up all month at Here BK, which is in Williamsburg pretty much. Their Instagram is at Here BK. They're on like Bushwick and DeVoe, I think, are the streets. Yeah, so if you're in Brooklyn or New York, stop by Here BK in the month of January, and I'll have photos up, and they're for sale. And I have a new zine too. I made a new zine of all film photos from this past year that'll be there. And then I made a bunch of like postcard size prints. So it's like, whatever. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, there's something. You can leave with something.
Cool.
Skaters, SKAT show. You got to keep the skaters in mind that have no money. You can't go in there charging, $1,000 a print or something. But anywho, yeah, I'll be out in New York.
So what do we got in the randomizer? Who's got what to say?
Let's set it off.
Let's see. I even put the Instagram handles on so they can get harassed if people don't like their question. They can find them and yell at them.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. First one. Let's see. From at Point and Click. Guilty Pleasure Skaters.
Guilty Pleasure Skaters?
Yeah.
Ooh, let me think. I didn't see that one.
Well, what's funny too is when I was writing these out, going through it, this was one I saw and I was like, man, put me on the spot.
I want to say it's like Hessians, like, Pacific Northwest Hessians, that like, what you're going to get, like, but sometimes you'll just get stuck into one of their video parts and just the crazy like bowls and skate parks and gear, they're almost like stuck in time. They're all still wearing the same stuff and same setups and skating the same parks and doing fast plants and lean details and stuff. I don't know, maybe if it's filmed and edited good with good music, then you could just end up watching a Trolls like whole video part and be like, what am I doing? This is an 8-minute video part and I'm about to finish it.
God, why am I drawing a total blank of like somebody that's cringy that I like?
Who's the guy Jeff Wansong, Jeff Desher. Does like right.
Yeah, I just don't want to watch him though because I was thinking that, and I'm like, wait, I don't even want to watch him.
Yeah. He like triple flips with like negative pop, like rolls off the stairs, but triple flips his board somehow. Clyde Singleton like posted a line of his the other day. It was like a legend. Did you see this? It was like,
yeah, well, Clyde today posted thank you boards. So is that dude on thank you now?
Is what?
It almost seemed like they paid him to post it, and that's where this all came from. It was really weird because it was him yesterday, and then he posted a board of his and a thank you board, and he was like, "Thank you, like it's awesome." Da 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 da. So it almost seemed like they paid him to post this stuff.
All right. Hey, this is Steve. Just want to clear this up, and if I delete this, there's some other stuff we get into that kind of just makes no sense. There's also another guy on Thank You named Day One Song, and my stupid ass, because of the Jeff One Song post, I think it was like a day before, threw it off. So it is not a Jeff One Song board. All is right in the universe, and we'll continue.
Because that's so out of left field.
Maybe they got a collab with him coming up. I don't know. I did like that Big Brother Tim Gavin collab they did, but the shirt was like, it was like an entire graphic. It was almost like a 20 years ago graphic, where it's like the whole, you should have just done the cereal box like normal size, not the whole shirt. But then I went to their website and they did the Day One's cover that's like horizontal, that had like the spiral bound, and he's crooking the ledge at barrel. They did a shirt with that on it, and I was like, that's sick. Their collabs are pretty random.
See, even
How
like
are they
the
still
stupid
around?
Tori and Day One, like Cheech and Chong board.
Yeah.
All of
And
them.
they did it like Jamie Thomas out. It's like, oh, limited edition of this version and this version. And it's like,
I don't know if I told
shocking.
you guys this one off air before, but they did a few years ago. They did a Day One graphic of Animal House. You know that old movie
With the panties. Yeah. So weird.
Yes. Okay. We talked about this. Yeah. And my buddy in Europe was like, and it came out kind of during the Me Too movement. So my buddy in Europe was like, oh yeah, he's like, Sweden is like even more conservative with the Me Too thing than America. So when this board came out, distribution dropped them. They were like offended by it.
Oh, the same thing. Tori's board in that series was the like popcorn bucket where you stick your junk through it.
Yeah.
That's from Porky's, right? Or Revenge of the Nerds, one of those movies.
God.
I remember that. It was just like this. What are they doing?
Adventures in Wacky.
I don't know how they're still around. I don't know who's buying that. I have no idea.
Fuck, I can't believe I can't come up with an answer.
I was riding a never-ending Tory board like a few months back that he gave me.
Blair, how do you end up? You definitely are the king of ending up with random stuff. Maybe that's just the East Coast in us. But
What else? What else besides my Tory Pudwell board?
the Globe shoes, the clear weather shoes. It's just not the norm over by us. So how did you end up with a thank you board?
I was at
And
Tory's
I can't
house.
talk. This is from a guy who rides mini logo boards on occasion, but
Yeah, I went over there. We filmed a commentary. He did a commentary on his TransWorld part, and so I went over to his house with CU Trent. I've known Tory forever. He's the nicest dude, and he was like, he pretty much runs Thank You, and so he had a bunch of stuff in his home office he was showing me, and then he pulled out like this never-ending Tory board, which is like him riding on the horse from Neverending Story, and he's like, "Here, man, this is yours." I was like, "Fuck, all right, dude." And it was in my garage for like a year, and then I ran out of boards to ride. I just need to set up a new board, and I was like, I think I got one or two more in the garage, and I pull it down, and it was a never-ending Tory. And I set it up, and then when I was skating it, I would get a lot of people like, "What kind of board is that? Like, what kind of board?" I don't care. I'm too old to care about shitty graphics.
I shouldn't be saying anything because, like I said, I'll ride mini logo boards. And I like super flat boards, flat nose, flat tail. So I end up with some random weird stuff. Like if there was a thank you board and it was flat, I'd get it and just spray paint it.
Yeah, I remember the Powell molds were good because I went to college in Santa Barbara, so I worked at a shop, and yeah, mini logos were like the best, like $20 out the door, and it was really good wood, good shapes, and no graphics. Perfect.
Yeah, that's what I used to tell people. Like, hey, they're cheap and spray painted.
It's as good as it's better than a shop board, or at least the same.
Yeah, Powell doesn't press for anybody else, so that's the only way to get that mold is those boards.
I'm telling you, I still ride Bones wheels. Powell Skate One product is high quality.
Oh, not a guilty pleasure skater, but riding mini logo boards is my guilty pleasure.
We'd like to thank our sponsor for this podcast, Skate One, coming out of Santa Barbara, California. I'd like to thank George Powell for sponsoring this podcast. I skated Steve Cab's backyard mini ramp with the Powell team. I think I was talking to you guys before I went last time.
Yeah.
Now that I met all those dudes like Dan Corrigan and Chris
Hyatt, that's my guilty pleasure skater.
He's like a cosplay skater.
Yeah,
now that I met them all, they're all super nice guys. And so, I mean, Chris Hyatt could be like a guilty pleasure skater for me now because I'll like watch his stuff now because I know him. He's kind of like like Chris Cole light, kind of, you know. So he's like saying like pink striped shirts and
Yeah,
stuff.
shit. Maybe Dan Corrigan is mine.
So,
Yeah, I think Dan Corrigan is have to be my guilty pleasure skater. He's like the biggest goon, but I've known him since he was pretty damn young. So like to see him having any kind of success is cool. How he doesn't have a board on Pal Peralta with the kind of following that he has is shocking.
Yeah, it's crazy how almost their whole team is like YouTubers. That's kind of like their business model.
Like his following is huge. Like you'd think he would sell boards out the ass if he had one. Who is pro for Pal? I couldn't even tell you.
Steve
Ben Hatchell still on?
He's not pro though, I don't think.
Ben Hatchell, he definitely.
Who's it? Spencer Simeon's pro. Spencer Simeon.
Is he even on? He had the last part in that new Film Trucks video.
Spencer Simeon?
Actually, yeah. Right? Did you see that Film Trucks video that came out last week? It was pretty sick. I think Spencer. It's like a big montage, and then Spencer has his part at the end.
That's so weird.
The only pros I can think of are Cab and Andy Anderson.
Yeah, Cab, Andy Anderson, Spencer Simeon, and that. Hoffler, Kelvin Hoffler.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Street League guy. Yeah.
I don't want to look. I don't want to look it up yet. But I might have to. I can't think of anyone else.
But I think that's.
Yeah, Hatchell definitely had pro boards. I don't know if he's still on, but he did.
It's called.
It was like Brad McClain was on.
Peralta. They got the Peralta back in their name after not having it. Powell Peralta. I wonder if they even have a team page on their website. Oh yeah, here we go. Team. So Legends, they still have like Salma Naga, Frankie Hill, Nicky Guerrero.
Yeah.
Bucky Lissette.
Blair, I have a Salma Naga flight board.
So it doesn't really say who's pro here, but the top four still has Ben Hatchell, Andy Anderson, Kelvin Hoefler, Spencer Simeon. And then under them, I'm assuming, are the AMs, and that's Chris Hyatt, John Bradford, Zach Doling, Donnie Hickson, Keith Francisco, Micaiah Furukawa, Dan Corrigan. There's so many. Brandon Johnson, he's a New York guy. Mason Merlino, AJ Nelson, he was there the day I was there. Matthew Wilcox, he was there. Cy Romano and Sakura Yozozumi. It's a huge.
There was no what's his name? No back three Nico.
Who's that?
He's really good.
I saw a Nico on. Wait, did I see a Nico on here?
Is there one on there?
Nicholas Ramos. Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. Yeah, he's super good.
Yeah, naming the pro.
What is it? Him and that Brandon dude came out to Long Island for a contest and they destroyed it. Like, took all the money. It was sick to see. Like, they went for it. Like, and people, the local kids here were so pissed. All the cool Long Island kids, and they're like, "Oh, fucking city kids came," And I'm like, "Well, did you guys enter?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Well, what are you crying about? Enter and beat them." "Oh, I'm not entering a contest." "All right, so don't care." Like, and those dudes came in and they fucked everything up. It was really cool.
Yeah, so. I'd always see Brandon at like the LES Park contest. He's good. He had an insane trick on the pyramid ledges last year too. Naming the full pro roster is a funny game me and my buddy got into last week. When you think about, we tried doing it with Crooked and then like FA Hockey and then Real. And it's crazy that those companies have like over 15 pros each, You're just like, fuck.
Yeah, it's massive. It's like naming Primitive's roster.
Yeah, before April split. Yeah.
Move on to the next question because I think there's one that applies to that, and I'm not going to end up pulling it out now. But
yeah, I mean, we'll get stuck on that for like a solid 20 minutes if we start going like name the roster.
This one's from @DaveWait. Who's making the best skate videos at the moment?
Jacob Harris is always good. Independence that Chase Walker just came out with that one, The Circle. Super good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Super good. Jeff Cesare did that. This is a Window. We talked about that last time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody like constantly making them? Because I feel like who's making the best skate videos, plural. So is there like, I think
it might be Jacob Harris. Might be top
New Balance. I don't know if there's one person doing New Balance's stuff, but all their video stuff is like top notch.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who does New Balance stuff. Oh, Kyle Camarillo does a lot of it. So it used to be Russell Hope. Maybe Kyle Camarillo and with some, I'm sure with like other filmers. Not quite sure who else.
Even like as much as most people aren't a fan of Primitive stuff, like those videos when they come out are always done well. The music's good.
Alan
Definitely is
Hannon.
good.
Alan Hannon
Alan
is
Hannon,
like
right?
such a thorough filmer. Because they're filming all that behind the scenes stuff at the same time, and all those interviews, that they put out after. Yeah, Alan Hannon is proper. Every primitive video is always super
Oh
good.
my god, what's the Eric Ikawara
Yeah, he's like a
Okay.
primitive filmer
that
too.
films for them?
Yeah.
Dude, his
Yeah.
flat ground is
It's
incredible.
crazy looking. Yeah.
Really?
So sick.
Like super quick pop, like
Huh.
like bolts.
I don't think I've ever
It's
seen him
cool
skate.
to watch. Oh,
my
he's.
god.
I think he was wherever he's from, because I don't think he's from the
From
States.
Brazil.
but- yeah, and he was like a sponsored skater there. Like he's a good skater. He's really good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny. I met him here with Wade, like 2 years ago or whatever, and then like almost a year later, I ran into him at El Sereno Park, and he like came up and said, "What's up?" And he's like, "Oh, I remember you from Philly," and whatever. It's
Sick.
cool.
Awesome.
I'd put Bronze on that list. I always like their videos.
Yeah.
And Johnny Wilson too.
Yeah. Very cool. Sabotage. Do we throw them on there, Mitch?
Yeah, I think so. I'm interested to see what the next thing he's got coming out
Yeah.
looks like.
I'd be curious to see too, because that's going to be anything they put out next is going to be the end of Muni, right? Would be in it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be Sabotage or if it's going to be something else because Penny and Higgins are kind of doing separate things now. It just can't, Penny's so wrapped up in working for these other brands and working on these other projects that I think all the Sabotage stuff is like exclusively Higgins at this point.
All right. Should we dive into another one, gentlemen?
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on.
Okay, here we go. At Jean Paul Huang, I totally messed that one up. Trends in skating and whether you fuck with them.
I feel like skateboarding.
Little
is
shirt,
so-
big pants, don't fuck with it at all.
Yeah. If
That is
something
the
looked bad
worst.
20 years ago, I don't want to see it rear its ugly head again. I don't want to see tight pants and puffy shoes ever come back.
Do you think that one will? It has to, right?
Yeah, of course it will. Of course it will. The tight pants are going to come back for sure because there's going to be a generation that sees those early Baker videos and think it looks just the same way the kids are dressing all big pants 90s now, like polar big boys. Those are just like the fucked pants from the 90s, The blind jeans, Supreme was making blind jeans. I think they still do. It's basically, all that, huge cutoff pants came back. Bit like thrift store shirts. Like the young kids love the thrift store shirts, which is fine.
People don't shop at skate shops anymore to buy clothes. It's all thrift store shit.
Kid in their teens and 20s is like strictly thrift store stuff, which is great. I like that. I'd say a trend that sucks is just mediocre tricks in a skate video or like a whole skate video that's just tricks that anyone could do. And maybe it's coming from the 90s where it's like you had to do new stuff in your video and your video parts to be kind of like worthy of getting sponsored or being in a magazine. And now, I'll go to like see a video, 20-minute long video, and there's just nothing new in it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever watch a video?
Or when you're doing groundbreaking shit, but it's all like that Scheckler part where he did all this wild shit, but half of it had already been done.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, when you're at that level and you're like killing yourself and then you find out after the fact someone already did it, like
it was like 8 tricks in that part were ABD.
Yeah. I guess that's another argument to like, well, don't spend 5 years on a video part because your enders might get one-upped. But now kids will do like, like backtail kickflip out on a ledge. And it's like, that trick was done 30 years ago. Like, I don't know. Even like kickflip in, kickflip out is like, I don't know.
It's like the progression. Like that was like Smolik doing that stuff in Fulfill the Dream. And it was like, oh my God, and now kids do it. And it's like, who?
I know. And now every kid can do it. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I was there when all that stuff was being done the first time, and seeing those videos and the photo sequences were like, that's never been done. And nowadays, there's nothing you can do. I think I saw a question like, what's something you want to see has never been done? It's like, you can't think of anything. Like, you're not going to do a hard.
It would have to be so teched out that it would almost be gross.
It probably would. Exactly. It wouldn't even look good. Yeah. So now it's
that's
about
when you'd have to be
speed
you have to be
and style.
creative. And
yeah, exactly. Do it on a new spot, or you got to skate fast with
or
it.
even that like crazy rail shit. Like it's got to cap out at some point. Like
for sure. Yeah, I think it. Well, I would say it has, but I don't know.
How big can they go?
Nyjah and Kyle Walker keep finding like even like unthinkable rails. Yeah, I don't know. That's a trend that I went to a video premiere.
My gripe has to be the black
Please
wheels.
say it. Yes, they
fucking
suck.
Supreme
Black
killed
wheels?
me.
I don't.
Dude,
They
black
skate
wheels
Blair,
are
is
the
that not a
grossest
thing
thing
right now?
ever.
No, what video? What Supreme video are they skating?
Everything. Watch
Everything, yeah.
any
Every edit they do,
hockey
all they
video,
skate these
Supreme.
black wheels, and
How did I never notice that?
Pay
Oh,
attention.
it's
Even that
so
the
bad.
ring video, all those black wheels, dude. All the kids now.
I
it's
didn't
black
notice
wheels.
that. I haven't noticed that. I hate all colored wheels. Like wheels should be white.
Yeah.
That's it. I was at a street league one time, and Jason Dill was there. I think it was in LA, and Dill was there for some reason. And there was like a pack of like Spitfire cruisers that were all like looked like a pack of Fruit Loops or something. Pack? Yeah, and Dill picks them up. And says, someone left their like Fruit Loops here, and he wasn't talking to anyone in particular, but he was just like, there's people around. He's like, yeah, someone left their like Fruit Loops here, and he puts them down. He's like, wheels should be white, and like slapped it and then put them down. It's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like colored wheels. I'm a white wheel guy, but the black ones it looks like a Toys R Us board or something. Like shit just bugs me.
Plastic wheels. Yeah, now I'm going to notice that in every video. I did not notice that.
Yeah, watch like the Violet video. They all have black wheels. The Violet edits, all of that stuff.
Oh, it's funny because I see those dudes here, and I'm like, I'll talk like to Mike Ward or somebody, and I'm like, dude, that looks gross. As much as they love it,
the color is so.
I'm like, they don't give a shit because they know I'm just like.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, happy you mentioned that because that's what I was going to say. That's the fucking worst. That's almost worse than the big pants little T.
Yeah, speaking of a trend, I hope that zoom in filming style is on its way out. I was so bummed that like so many young filmmaker kids like started copying that style. Like, dude, don't film like that, please.
Yeah, like Bill can do it. It's his thing.
Yeah, let him ruin videos with it.
I don't enjoy it, but it's his thing. Let him do it.
Anyone that does, yeah. But yeah, maybe he does it just to like set his stuff apart. Just like
at least he does it well, and it was kind of like his thing that he started. But it's other people trying to copy it just doesn't work.
Go to another one.
Yeah, as I say, did we answer the question?
Yeah, I think we did. All right, so here we go. At this ghost of ours, is anyone actually skating reissued shoes?
I mean, we definitely talked about that. I feel like all those shoes they spend all that money on, people buy them once, and then they don't actually skate them, or they skate them one time. Like they're not buying multiple colors to keep skating them.
No.
What would be like a reissued shoe?
Like
the
Muska
Krieger
or the
S
Krieger.
shoes.
God. Oh gosh. Yeah. Not the Muskas, right? They're too expensive to skate.
Not when they're clearancing them out for half the price they were charging a month ago.
Are they already marked down?
Oh yeah, S marked them down in typical like Soul Tech fashion. It was like, oh, here, we'll sell them to you now for half of what the skate shop was paying for them.
Imagine if you paid $150 for a pair of those, and then you find out a month later they're like half off.
Yeah, there was like a Christmas sale, and they're like, oh, we got to dump all these because we made way too many.
When they redid the Sal's, we talked about this last time. When they redid the Sal's, I got a couple pairs from Kelly Hart, and I skated them. I got the SLBs and the Sal 97s, and I skated them.
Yeah, because they made it like a functional version. Like Muska is not functional in 2023.
Yeah, I saw a pair in person. They're insane. Who else is reissuing?
It's like a D3.
I mean, what Globe reissued the Chet Thomas? I don't know anybody who's wearing that. Skating.
Are
D3 Osiris's?
I think Osiris never stopped making the D3, so it's not actually a reissue.
Yeah, it's not a reissue.
Still in the line, still crushing.
I mean,
Are
Nike
all
reissued
DCs?
T-Rod 1, right? Did people skate them? No.
Yeah,
they just bought them,
real
didn't
briefly. Real briefly, I didn't see them anywhere, like in any shops or anything.
That'd
Are
be
all the
cool,
DCs retros? Are those considered reissues?
Oh, well, that is one that people do, right? The Lynx I would consider a reissue, and
Yeah,
people
and
skate
people
those.
are buying them.
Yeah,
They did
so
the
that's one.
They did the Syntax years ago, and I got a couple pairs, and they were and I remember it was way before Mike Hakela worked for DC, because he hit me up, so no way, and I'm like, and I got 2 pairs, I'm like, dude, I'll send you a pair. And so I remember I mailed Mike Hakela a pair of Syntaxes, like way back before he worked for DC. But I skated them, and they were like slippery. I thought I was gonna get hurt. I was just like, fuck. No,
Yeah, I mean, and they've done a few. They just did a clocker with FTP.
they did a clocker with bronze too, right? Like a year ago. But they did the clocker too, and I always remember the clocker 1 being like the one that I skated back then. But
The brown ones, Blair?
I had the black ones.
Oh. Good.
Which are
It was
still
such a good
hard to
shoe at the
find.
time.
There's someone, I think Damon Way reposted. He's been posting awesome old DC stuff on his Instagram. And he posted an old catalog, and you could see like the first clocker, the plug. Yeah.
Oh, the plug.
Remember the Colin McKays with the sock liner?
Yeah, that was pretty early DC.
I
I
remember,
remember
Ave,
Drake Jones had a photo with
Yeah,
those
the
on. It
Ave
was so
had
sick.
the sock liner too. The first
second
one.
Ave
Yeah.
had a sock liner. It was sick as fuck.
Yeah, that shoe was awesome.
Yeah. I love. Yeah, they need more skate shoes with sock liners in 2024. Nike needs to bring back the Costin 3s. Just a full
Oh,
on.
I ran that
What
shit
were the-
hard.
They're so good. They lasted forever. I loved them.
Yeah, they were
What were
so
the
goofy
dunks with
looking, but
I loved
they
it. It's a
skated
full
great.
stopper. Yeah, I loved it.
What were the dunks with it? They had dunks with it, right? It was like
The Dunk High.
I always wanted those. I never got them.
Called like a Dunk High Elite. And it
Elite,
was
Yeah,
yeah.
that was it.
The sole was like rock hard on those.
really. Yeah, Cyrus was
Yeah.
like the hero for it. But yeah, Jamie Owens skated those. They looked sick. But both of those, that Dunk High with the sock liner and the Costin 3, they both retailed for like 125, 130, just because those materials and that technology comes from Nike Soccer, and it's really expensive. So they're just like, they just did it just to do it, but they knew it wasn't gonna last.
Yeah, those Costins were $150.
150. Fuck, I thought like 130.
Wow.
So I mean, Muskas or Costin 3s. It's a tough toss up there.
Well, the Costin 3 now would probably be 200 plus.
Fuck, maybe with inflation, because
Yeah,
now
you know.
some of those quick strike dunks are like those tight booth ones were like 140 here, 140 retail.
Yeah.
A lot of embossing.
Embossed up. What was the question again? Oh, retro shoes. Is what's going? Speaking of Soltec, what's going on with the America? Because the team manager left and a couple team riders left.
Just wrap it up.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if that's like, I don't know.
it's got to be. Skating's in a shitty spot right now.
Yeah, it's
hard.
It's exactly. It's rough.
Kids don't care. It's so weird. We were talking about this, and it's like, is there even a pro now that can get people to buy the product? Like, kids they don't care. Like, a pro can be great, they don't care. They'd rather
and
just like do whatever TikTok kid does.
Yeah, and the companies favor like all the team models over pro models, when it comes to shoes and kind of with boards. I feel like individual pro board graphics are coming back, but remember like 10, 15 years ago, every board company was just doing those series graphics, just the most boring, like one logo and just make 8 different colors for our pros.
Oh yeah, Girl and Chocolate were so notorious for that.
Yeah, like Plan B, Element, just like the worst, most boring
Oh
graphic.
yeah, Plan B that's always been their art direction. Is just how many different colors can we throw on top of a B.
But I feel like maybe with like FA doing like, okay, this is like, so-and-so's graphic that it's going to be for the next few months. And then he'll have another graphic. I think that's rad, because that's how it was in the 90s.
Yeah,
But
which I always think is funny because they never put the person's name on the graphic.
I know it's hard
It's
to
always just on the
to
top.
figure out whose graphic it is most of the time. but yeah, with shoes too. Like I don't know, pro model shoe is going to cost $20 more or something, and yeah, it's just one in you get those 1 in a million that hit the lottery, like the Janoski or the half cab. Jamie Foy's New Balance, I think, did well.
Yeah, it's a couple years deep now, right?
Yeah, I remember
I
Pacific Drive.
I almost
They
want to
said
say that one probably, the Jamie Foy probably falls also into the surf crowd. I have a feeling. Like
I see a lot of
non-skater.
non-skaters wearing it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hit that crowd somehow. I don't know how. I don't know how any like New Balance skate shoe would hit that crowd, but maybe they're in a lot of like non-skate shops. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I think just New Balance is cool right now, outside of skating too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think
and all that.
I don't know. I know on the streets of like New York City, like casual New Balance shoes are super popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
I think it's regional, but they're crushing it in a lot of places.
Let's go with another one, gentlemen.
Yeah, let's see it.
Why companies pay photographers and filmers pennies.
Yeah, I saw this one because that's the value. Because he's a photographer in his name.
Yeah. He's that I know out there.
I photos of like really cool stuff.
Yeah,
I think he's good at skating too, dude. It's awesome. But yeah,
fortunately, that's the value of a skate photo these days. I mean, it's never been like a career you could really bank on, but even now without, when there were like 5 magazines, okay, if you're out shooting and hustling, you could get photos in a couple different mags, or maybe you could get a job with a mag. You could get like a put on retainer or like staff photographer with a mag. Now those are all gone. So unless you can get a job with a brand and be staff photographer, like Blayback with DC, Hakela with DC, I don't know. I mean, like Matt Price works for CCS. A lot of these guys we know as like skate photographers, they have full-time jobs doing something else,
Yeah.
And without mags, it's like, yeah, companies would pay like, $5 or $10 for their spread in a magazine. And knowing that they'd have to pay the photographer like $1,000 for that photo. Now, if they just advertise on Instagram, what are they going to, if they want your photo for Instagram, if they even want that, like if you post on your Instagram, they can just repost it, and not pay you and not even ask you and not even pay you. So
it is crazy how it's created its own issue like this, because there's no, and this is no offense, and I think the photographers and filmers should be paid a ton. Sure, they're in it as much as the skaters. It's just you can't even sell a video anymore. So where are you going to create revenue to pay, a filmer? It's just you're to what? Film it to put it on Instagram. It's free. There's no revenue coming back except for the board. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
at least it was with a video. You could make money off the video.
Yeah, filmers might be able to hustle more freelance money than still photographers, because I feel like more people need video clips nowadays, because that's kind of like what their sponsors want them to feed Instagram. Companies used to be like, you need to get an interview in a mag, you need to try and get a cover, so skaters would call photographers. Now, to the young generation, a photo doesn't mean anything other than like, let's throw it on Instagram, because their sponsors aren't asking them to go shoot photos with, you need to go shoot with the mag photographers. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. So now it's like, you need to post footage on your Instagram. So the photographers are it's just a hobby now,
Well, like this podcast, picture this podcast 20 years ago. We would be photos or something of us talking, and then a magazine, and it would be an article. Like you couldn't you know what I mean? Like you couldn't have this then.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. It would get, internet content 20 years ago. Nobody looked at internet content 20 years ago, and people didn't even want their stuff going to the internet. Like when I would be trying to do stuff for the TransWorld site, people would be like, no, I want to be in the magazine, or I want to be in the next TransWorld video. They didn't want to be on the website, because that was like less than.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now it would be like, no, I just want to be.
Yeah. Now, fuck, I don't know. Everywhere, I guess. Yeah.
But it sucks. I wish, the filmers and photographers could make a ton of money.
Yeah. There's no money.
Brand,
Yeah, because the camera equipment is getting just more and more expensive.
Yeah.
And then every time you go to shoot a photo, you're spending your own gas and food. But that's how it's always been. I don't know. And it's crazy because like the skill set you need to shoot a good skate photo is so much. It's so crazy. Like, because if you go shoot, like you get hired to go shoot a baseball game or a red carpet event or something, that's a cakewalk compared to trying to get a skate photo, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess the silver lining is that you're developing a skill set that'll help you in the future.
Well, that's like even like that dude Atiba. Like, doesn't he take NBA photos or something? Like, he got into.
He has for like over 20 years.
Yeah.
He started like interning for like Slam Skate Mag and shooting the NBA like over 20 years ago, and he's still at TransWorld. And then he shoots.
Right.
One of my buddies worked for like a video game company. He's like, yeah, we just hired Atiba to shoot like a Call of Duty thing, and I was like, yeah, he's.
But it's almost like pad your resume with the skating and then get into something that'll pay you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like, having a background in shooting skating is always kind of like wows people, you know, they're always impressed. Like if you have a background like that, it's not necessarily going to help you get jobs. Sometimes it will, but other times, they're like, I was talking to Jay Strickland one time and he's like, yeah, you try to get a photo job in the real world saying you're a skate photographer. They're like, get out of here. But sometimes it's the complete opposite. Sometimes they're like, oh, we want someone from the skate world because skating's cool, you know?
Yeah.
There's a dude I know from skating who like started off shooting like skate photography and then somehow he was shooting for the Sixers. And then now he works for the dude that owns Fanatics. So it's like he just climbed that ladder of like, oh yeah, I started in skating and I got quick at like being on my feet and shooting all these different things. And now it's like he's somebody's, you know, flying around on private jets and shit to be a photographer.
Yeah, that Portland filmer Tristan, he films for the Trailblazers, and like Mark Oblo at one point was shooting David Beckham for Adidas. You know, so you never know where.
Even that, but like Xander shoots for Adidas, and
he shot some like mainstream stuff. Yeah. So I mean, the only way to make a living being a skate photographer is, like I said, getting like a full-time job at a brand, being a brand's staff photographer, or used to be a magazine staff photographer, but those jobs are all gone. And a lot of the old dudes that have been at it since the 90s are still holding on to those jobs. So that makes even less for like the up and coming photographers, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's skate companies don't have much money earmarked for photos.
Right.
Used to.
Hopefully he keeps shooting. He takes
the big
good
shoe
photos.
companies, you know? But, I mean, trying to get by being a freelance skate photographer, it's rough, man. I'd say, I mean, most of them have other jobs, you know, always have kind of.
I feel like that's half the pros now. It's like you can't even just be a pro skater. Like everybody's got a side hustle.
Yeah, if you're not on one of the big shoe brands, you're probably not making enough to get by, unless you're like a young kid and you have roommates and you don't give a shit. And the filmer's picking you up, then you can get by on like $1,000 a month. But if you're trying to be an adult and
it's a hustle,
pay your bills, you got to be on like a big shoe company or something.
Yeah,
or drinks, one of the energy drinks.
Well, hopefully a less depressing one in here.
Less depressing? Was that depressing?
I mean, if you're looking in like the industry's awesome, I want one of these industry jobs. I want to be a photographer. I want to be a skate filmer, and like, I want to be a pro skater. Like, do you? Like it's cool, but like you're not gonna be able to live.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. It's gonna weed out the people that think they're gonna, that think that the industry owes them something.
Man, yeah.
Like I still got to go and shoot skate photos, knowing full well I'm not gonna, there's no monetary value to them.
But that's when you know what I mean. And it's like, at least I love doing it. I'm in a position where I don't need to survive off this, or you know what I mean. Like, any extra money is always cool, but it's like.
Yeah, I feel like selling.
I want to do it because I love doing it, and
I don't know why, but I feel like selling prints has become a bigger thing in recent years. I don't know why, but it just seems like more photographers are selling prints I've sold more prints. Just, I don't know. Maybe if you can get your photos into like photo shows or, group shows or whatever. Yeah, it might be a way to make more money.
Next one is Meet Lacroy. Great but widely forgotten skate videos.
Huh.
Filmbot files.
Mike Stanfield, shout out.
Yeah.
Were those really good? Bunch of Marty Morosky.
I love that video.
Yeah, that was the
Oh,
best
it's
part.
a video. Oh, he did a series though too. I thought Filmbot Files was like a series.
Well, he had a
Filmbot
video.
Fridays.
He had a website and all that stuff
Filmbot
too.
Files.
I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, but he had the video. He definitely, that Marty Morosky part was game changer.
Like
Derek
Marty Morosky.
Fukuhara, Robert Lim.
Yeah, Robert Lim. Yeah,
those were his go-to
Brian
guys.
Lay when he was like a toddler.
Yeah.
And then that random DJ Chavez part.
Yeah. Oh man, but that was. I mean, I always throw the Tantrum Credo fit video in there. I'm sure everybody else besides me forgot about that one.
That's a good one, but
I love
their
that
4-in-1 section was really good. I'm glad you brought that up.
4-in-126.
Dude,
So
Bootleg
so
3000.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's got all, like, if you could watch that video without all the slow motion and without all the extra stuff, it'd probably be like a half hour shorter, but it would be an amazing video.
So, Mitch, what was the one that DGK, or is a Reebok DGK? There was like a video for that for their Spain trip or something.
Really?
Yeah. The one, I told you about it a couple months ago. Somebody just put
Mitch
it on
told me
YouTube.
about
It didn't exist for years.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's really actually like good.
I have a pair of those shoes. I have DGK Reebok pumps, low tops.
Sick.
Did they release those?
I don't know. They like gift all pairs over at TransWorld.
Oh, that's really cool.
I never skated in them, but I wore them, and I have them, and they're sick. They're
Even that's another one though. Like Parental Advisory, that DGK video. If you took out all those goddamn skits,
and if you compressed it properly, because they did the that was when like HD and SD was kind of, so they stretched the VX footage. Yeah, it killed me.
Yeah, Bronze did that too. But the whole video was VX. But I think they put it out on iTunes, but then had to take it down because they didn't have all the music rights or something like that. It was up and then down. But I was impressed. That's everyone on DGK had a full part in that video, which I wasn't expecting at the premiere.
And then there's the remix video. What the hell is the dude's name?
Manolo tapes?
Manolo. Yeah. It was a whole nother full edit of the video, like another hour-long video.
Really? No way.
With like all different songs, extra footage.
That guy's a fucking animal with his edits, dude.
I'm going to say World Industries New World Order is like the Forgotten World video.
Oh, not for me. I think about that one all the time. I think about Shiloh's part all the time in Day One.
So good.
Yeah. I want to do a commentary with Shiloh, but I can't get a hold of him. He won't get back to me.
He's like super off the grid now, right?
Maybe recently, like a few years ago, he was
He's
skating.
off Instagram, I think.
Yeah, he might have. Yeah. But a few years ago, my buddy in LA was skating with him all the time, and I'd go up and skate with him, and they'd even come down to San Diego just to skate like these curb schools and spots. But then, I don't know, maybe in real, even more recently, he bailed, but Shiloh's rad. His part in New World Order and Love Child, his parts in both those are insane.
Yeah.
If you watch, TransWorld did an international cinematographer video, and like Sauer had a part, and then Jacob Harris did a part for Isle in that video, and Kyle Camarillo has like a whole Brazil section, and then Patrick Wallner has this like Asia section. I think there might be another part or two. That one's good. I think the parts are online.
Okay, here we go, and I'm trying to most bloated pro roster. Which I think.
Oh, gosh.
Is it real?
There's a few.
Real's got to be up there with most pros, right? Can we even name? Could we even attempt at naming the entire Real roster?
God, there's so many.
I'll tell you right now, I'm riding a Real Tommy Guerrero board, so he's still got boards in the line. And Max Schaff probably does too, and he's like their original team rider.
Wow.
God, what's
Does
his
he?
name?
Is he really have a board still? He's still on their line.
Who? Which one?
Mac Chef.
I think they give him like honorary boards here and there. I mean, they can only give like a fraction of their team boards every season. They can't issue like 25 pro models every season.
Yeah, this is all right. So we got Dennis Buznitz.
Oh,
We could play the game on this one too, and
Okay.
nothing against Real, minus their graphics. I guess are kind of.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, everyone on their team is. Yeah, everyone on their team's insane. And what do you do when
Like
guys
when's
like
like Dennis Buznitz? When's last
Yeah.
time
he just had
a shot?
footage
Okay,
in,
Nicole House,
oh yeah, I forgot.
Nicole
about
House
Chima
is
Ferguson.
all over the place.
Jimmy
Kyle Walker, Mason
Kyle Walker.
Silva, Jack Olson, Jimmy Wilkins, Tanner Van Vark, Patrick Proman, Harry Lintel, Zion Wright, Jake Donnelly. When's the last time that guy's existed? He was sick to watch though.
I thought that. Yeah, I thought.
According to this, Keith Huffnagel, R.I.P. Yeah, Max Chef.
Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
There's more
6,
than
7,
Gotta be like
9,
15.
10,
What
11,
about
12, 13, 14, 15
Shot,
pros.
Harry Lintel.
Yeah, Harry Lintel.
Yeah.
What about Davis Torgerson?
Yeah, is Davis
No,
still on?
he's. I
He's-
think
he's-
I heard he's the A6 TM now or something. Davis Torgerson. He wasn't on here though.
He's not-
But let's go.
Did you
What's
say
another
Zion-
one? Primitive.
Sound right?
Yeah.
Zion was on here. Yeah, there was 15 of them. Let's check Primitive.
Okay, 15. I would have
Well,
thought.
they
Yeah,
just
Primitive
downsized,
just made a
actually.
bunch of cuts though.
Yeah,
Did they really? Who'd they cut?
Jean Baptiste Gillet, which sucks.
Yeah, JB, Brian Peacock.
Oh,
Is Peacock cut? Well, we're finding out now, Mitch. P-Rod, Tiago, Miles Silvis, Carlos Hibiero, Wade DeZarmo, Spencer Hamilton, Frankie Villani, Trent McClung, Robert Neal, Trey Williams, Giovanni Viana. Yeah, Peacock is cut or whatever. That's crazy.
They
So
cut
how many-
Merrick.
Merrick.
Who?
Yeah, Merrick was a while ago.
Merrick's been
a
off.
company. Yeah.
Wow. So they're down to 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. Let's
11.
say
What about Baker? Baker's got to have like a.
I think they're cutting
Yeah,
people too.
great.
Let's check. Baker Skateboards. Man, it's so crazy, right? Like, do they even
We'll
have their
figure it out.
team on their website? I don't think they have. Baker doesn't have their team on the website.
That's smart move. Well played, Baker. Well played.
Yeah, I mean, we can go by looking at pro boards. They have a Nuge, Casper Brooker, right?
Oh yeah, Brooker.
Fucking internet. Theodis, who I thought I heard they cut, but there's a board of him.
Yeah, because he cut all his sponsors off his Instagram.
Did you see he
Jacopo,
was trying to do like a music festival called like Beasley Land, and then and then had to like pull the plug like a month later? Felt so bad for him.
Wow, Figgy still has a board.
Oh, hell yeah.
Spanky, Riley
Thank
Hawk,
you. Does D Ostrander still
Rowan.
have it?
No, he got cut a while ago.
yeah, Baca, Theodis, T Funk,
Baca.
Tyson Peterson still exists.
Yeah, yeah.
Zach Jolly Boogie Deck. What the fuck is that?
Zach Allen?
Zach Continuum.
Zach Allen.
What
Yeah.
what is a Zach?
T Funk?
No, is Zach?
Yeah, T Funk.
That's Zach Allen. That dude's not pro.
No, he's not pro. Oh, he is pro. That's
Yeah,
right.
the board it says Zach Jolly Boogie, Zach Continuum. No, that dude can't be pro,
So
right?
how many
He
pro?
is.
Yeah, Zach Allen definitely went pro.
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know.
I mean, not that he's a bad skateboarder, but
And they've got like a big ass AM squad too. Like they got that kid Sully from the Skates for Supreme.
Oh yeah.
They got Zion, Zion Fs.
Yep.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I might be off a little. 10, 11. 11. I guess they have 11 pros too, if we're going
Okay.
by this. Zach Allen's really pro?
I love that. That's blowing you away.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of
right.
surprised. Too.
What do I know? Nothing.
Who's got more?
Okay.
Who's got as many as real or more than real?
Does Element still have a pro team? Element Skateboards? Let's see.
No.
I heard Appleyard got cut. Appleyard and someone else got cut.
Element brand?
They went like full Euro with their team.
Yeah, because nobody here. That's one, Blair. I don't know about by you, but I have yet to see one in the wild in the past 15 years here.
Yeah, no. Element
Wow,
boards
what a
are
shit show!
I saw them at
Men,
Turn
skate.
7. They
Like,
had
this is
$17.99 completes.
Wait, what?
pro model
$18?
decks. Oh, there's a team. Hold on, I saw a team.
$18 completes at like the over, like the liquidation store.
What?
Yep.
An $18
Yeah.
The standard like Element logo board with like the tree on the nose.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it's got
Element
like,
trucks and wheels.
Element brand trucks, yeah, all their stuff that's probably
Because yeah,
like,
$18, and they had like hundreds of them in pallets.
God.
Yeah. Oh well.
Like, how much
you want to laugh?
How much completes at Kmart? Like probably like not even that cheap.
Oh no, they're definitely $30 or $40.
Wow.
This is an interesting website here. So I'm on Element. Guess how many pros? Whoever comes closer wins nothing. What do we got? Mitch, you go first. How many pros?
5.
Okay, Blair.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say 7.
5.
Even though
Mitch
I
won.
can't think of one besides
5
Victor.
pros. Can you believe that? Like,
How many?
I don't think Elements had that few pros since ever.
5?
Maybe when they were Underworld Element, and it was like Pepe and
Who are they?
Andy Stone and Bill
Who
Pepper.
are they besides Nick Garcia?
Nick Garcia is not one of the pros.
Nick Garcia's not on there?
Nick Garcia, you are not the father. Yeah, he is not one of the pros. You have
They cut
Brennan
him
Westgate.
and Who?
Westgate.
Yeah, so you got Westgate,
Westgate.
Gabriel Fortunato,
Mm-hmm.
Matters Apps,
Oh my, he's still
Jaco
on?
O'Jonin, and
they have
Vittoria Mendonca.
Mendoza. That's it.
There's
Victoria
your-
Pro?
What a yeah.
That's
What
what
a
it says here,
brand.
pros. All right,
Wow, I didn't
Next
see the
up.
Pro.
ready? Global Am. Funa Nakayama, Grayson Beal, Ru
Grayson Beal.
Sajiri, Leon Charo Tite, and Vincius Costa. All right, and then it goes to Flow. They have 1, 2, 3, 4,
Dude's
5,
got
6,
Low team?
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 Flow riders.
Jesus.
I wonder if you quit Element Flow, you have to tell them to take your photo off the website. Like, I don't want free boards anymore. Get my photo off your website.
This is like, and it's
Great.
Kenny Stanley. Do you know who that is?
Who?
Kenny Stanley? Wasn't he
That
on
name
Dog,
sounds
like Raw
familiar.
Dog? Yeah, I
Kenny
think he
Stanley.
was on like Raw Dog Raw.
Yeah.
With Antoine and freaking Reno
Yeah.
Mike. So is Westgate the only American skateboarder on Element? Westgate, Grayson Beal.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Well, BAM though, they still put out BAM boards.
Well, he's not even. They don't even mention him. There is not a sniff of Ben
Because he's got
Margera
so
on
many
there.
different deals. Because he's got
Too much
the Heart
yeah.
Supply stuff. He's got that.
Oh, maybe that's what his boards, or maybe it's just like a BAM brand that they do.
This ghost is ours yet again. Why does image matter and not talent when getting on a team? I guess
Wow.
Because in
Depends on the team,
2023,
too.
everyone is good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everyone.
Marketing.
Yeah.
It's always been about marketing. It's. I mean, skateboarding hasn't been a meritocracy in a long time, since like the 90s. You know, I feel like in the 90s you had to be good. You had to be good to get sponsored. Now, yeah, it's your image can get you sponsored now. It's as lame as that sounds, you know.
No, it's who's the kid on FA, the little ginger kid.
Aiden Mackey.
Yeah, like, and he can do some stuff that's like recreationally cool, but Pro?
Recreationally cool.
all right, this is just me, and somebody's gonna say, "No, you can't. No, you can't." But I could do some of the stuff that dude does.
Dropping out.
I'm just gonna say, if I really like said, like, all right, I'm gonna, put a little more effort on my curb manual and go, like, pro. But it's his image, and I guess who the crowd he's in and who he skates with,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah, who you know.
it's not like he's doing bad stuff. I don't want to say that, like, but just you think of a pro and you picture like Tiago and Nyjah, you know, and I know that's a totally different aspect of it, but you think of that and then you see that kid and it's like,
that's what's always great about FA edits, because like the dudes will be doing their stuff and then like Louis Lopez comes on the screen and you're like, okay, there's a very clear distinction between Louis Lopez and these other dudes. That's what I always love about those edits.
Yeah, like
well,
Beatrice is as polarizing as it gets. But people buy her board, so there's a reason.
Yeah, Vans is pumping out the collabs.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, a brand is meant to sell boards, profit, revenue, grow. Yeah. You know, it's still a business at the end of the day. So if Aiden Mackey doing a fakie manual on a curb manual, you know, with a chain wallet is going to, you know, and people think that's cool and it sells, then that, you know, mission accomplished. Beatrice doing a, you know, 5-0 shove it, 50-50 front shove, sorry. But it's like if she's doing that and it sells and there's a market for it, I get it. I don't have to watch it. I don't have to buy it.
Yeah. Who sold more boards than Bam like 20 years ago, you know? Yeah. He wasn't the best skateboarder out, but
but he was. But right, well, but this is true. Even if he was the best skateboarder, like he could switch backside tail slide at least.
Yeah, he's a good skater.
He could skate transition like a pro.
Yeah,
but it wasn't because of his skating.
Yeah, no, it's because of the land speed, the CKY videos and the TV shows. But that's image, you know.
Yeah. I mean, totally.
You go to like, especially when I go to California and see that stuff, like every kid at every park is incredible. And they're skating like a busted up shitty board because everyone is so good that it does not matter how good your tricks are. Yeah. And like the average kid from like Minnesota that's looking at this doesn't get that because they're the hometown hero where they're at, and they're like, oh, I should be sponsored because I'm better than this person. It's like, that shit doesn't matter because no one's going to buy a board with your name on it.
Yeah, and then you have to hit that sweet spot of like, if you don't want to dress too much like your favorite pro or like everyone else dresses, you know, because then a company's going to be like, we don't need him. We already have a version of him. We don't need that kid. So then if you kind of dress kind of different or kind of weird, they could be like, oh, this dude's cool. Like, you know, like Frankie Villani on Primitive. He doesn't really fit, but if Frankie looked and skated like Tiago, they wouldn't have put him on, you know, because they already got Tiago.
Right.
But here's Frankie's coming a little different with a football-shaped board and no complies and like, you know. So, yeah, you got to hit the sweet spot of how you look and the tricks you do. Yeah, it's a very, I don't know, nuanced thing.
That's like, we'll throw the poor kid back in here, but that's like Jeff Wan's song. Like, then he should be the top pro. He's the best skater. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, and there's going to be people who are going to say like, dude, he's sick. And it's like, well, then go buy his board. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, there's just, everything looks so bad.
Yeah.
And it's almost though like,
how many boards does he
that's
sell? Maybe a lot. But
he sells tons. He's like the patron saint of dudes that haven't ollied in 20 years.
I believe
Jeff Wan's song?
No, Andy Anderson.
Oh, right.
Like,
well, look at that.
Love him, which is fine.
Yeah,
like said, there's somebody for everybody.
But
his boards sell out.
That, you know, are normal skaters that love him. You know, they don't want to skate like him or anything, but they still love him. They just love watching his videos. He's a unique character. And then, if Powell didn't exist, would any other board company out there sponsor that guy? Or would he would he be exactly? Would he be a YouTuber with a day job? You know,
but it is wild with all the marketing, and that's why. But you got to be able to be marketable before anything else. I'm going to throw one at this. For both of you, what's the best skateboarder you guys have known that never got hooked up? Like that just kind of fell through the cracks, like nobody cared, but you're like, they're the best skateboarder. You have any of those? Even could be Flow or something, but never burst on the scene.
There's a couple that I grew up with. And there's actually one. Exactly. Mm-hmm. There's this kid, Jeff Boy from San Diego, that he got sponsored by like Audubon Wheels. Remember Audubon Wheels, Jason Rogers? and I think he had like a few tricks in their video, but he had Pacific Drive, the skate shop here, put out one video. They've only put out one shot video, and he had the last part. He was incredible. And then nothing ever happened. And then there's a kid now, Nolan Lively, who's never really been on flow. He skates for Slappy's Garage, which is like Jason Carney's shop, and he's amazing. He's so naturally talented. But I think just living in San Diego, never just no fit for him on like a brand here, and the brands from LA are just kind of, like, oh, we already got guys or whatever. But he's incredible. He's still doing it.
He kind of got somewhere for a while and then just got lost in the mix. But Kyle Frederick.
So did I.
It had to. Like, that dude could have easily been a pro skater. He was so damn good.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that. Oh, yeah. I used to see him at the Black Box Park, just skating big, crazy shit.
Yeah, it's called like 12 o'clock Carl.
And he finally put out like a part of like all his footage, right? Like after he had kind of decided to leave, but kind of put out a massive part of all this footage. Yeah, Kyle Frederick, I can attest firsthand. That dude coulda, shoulda been pro.
At Shellfish, oversaturation of companies in the industry.
Agreed.
Yeah. And I 100%. And I think the cause is, somehow it's easy to just start your own company. I guess like if you can get a small run of boards and you have an Instagram account, then you have a company. And then also I do think the big shoe companies want that to be a thing so that they have more power. The more splintered the board industry is, the less money there is to go around. There's 1,000 board companies, so everyone's just getting little. So then you rely on your shoe sponsor more. Like we were saying before, if you don't have a shoe sponsor, you got to get a job. You got to get a real job. So I think the shoe companies do want to, encourage that, like the more board companies. Yeah, start your own board company, start your own little board company, because we get, you can rely on us, and then they have, your shoe sponsor has all the power and can do whatever they want with you.
That is a very interesting take on it, Blair. That makes a lot of sense. Like, hey, well, we're paying you so we get your footage. You can just ride your little board company.
Yeah. No, I heard that from someone that worked for a big shoe company. They're like, yeah, like the irony's not lost on me that like there's you want to ride for a little cool board company, but you also want to be on Nike or, Adidas or Converse, That's how it's become. That's like that's the cool combo, right? To be on a big shoe company, but a little cool brand,
because there's so many board brands out there, and like even like Blair, you see it as like a skate shop owner versus me who's selling boards. Like you are fighting for space on the walls in every shop. It's like, how do you decide what brands to bring in and which ones will? But that's where I say to like.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to start a skate company in this day, like in this, right?
But that's where I tell people, like, dude, speak up at your shop. Like, if there's a brand that you want them to have, don't go buy it online. Like, you can, and that's fine, but tell them that you want it, because sometimes they don't know. They think they're like, oh, we're going to buy this because this is what we like, but it's like, just because that's what you like doesn't necessarily mean that's what the people in your community want.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, if you don't speak up, they're never going to get it. All right, you want to take us out on a good one, Steve?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to look at them, so we'll see. Hopefully it's a good one.
Well, if something's whack, we'll skip it, yeah.
Yes, we got a good one, and we're going to end on this one. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Companies that will fold in 2024. I don't think we could have picked a better one to go out on.
Crux is already on the chopping block, right? Maybe
the Louis Barletta trucks will be missed.
There's fucking things at Emerica don't look good, right?
Yeah, DC.
Oh yeah, DC
too. Yeah,
don't look good there.
Man, Element.
Yeah,
put Element in there too.
Element might be strong in Europe though. They went so hard in Europe. I don't know. I wonder if they're making up for lost sales in America over in Europe.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Is the Barracks one we could put on? Is the Barracks going to be done in 2024?
It's possible. I mean, their skate park is
Can that
done.
please happen already?
And they said, yeah, who knows if they're moving to another location or if it's done.
Is skate metal a rap?
Oh, yeah.
I think it is.
Did you see Brad
think it is,
Staba
right?
in the new Epically Latered?
Yeah.
No.
That's why I'm doing this. They interviewed him about the Nuge, and they interview him and he's like covering his face. It's weird. I don't know.
What's that dude's deal?
They put out a new tire though this past Christmas, so that's still going. But I don't know if that's how much of that is Brad's thing or there's like some European guys that kind of do it.
So that dude, Mike Condello, Raw Rogers.
Yeah, I know Raw Rogers. Yeah,
he runs their Instagram and stuff now.
Raw does?
Yeah.
Wow.
Plunkett talked about it in something recently.
Oh yeah, Plunkett.
Because he still does the sales for it.
Yeah, because I know when we were filming with Raw in San Francisco, he met up with a couple dudes from like Sweden or Denmark that were like filming the Tired video that year or whatever that was, like 2020, 21 or something. Alrighty. Well, if anyone watching or listening has anything else to add to that list, you know where, in the comments. And depending on where you're watching or listening, we're on Spotify, YouTube, and should be on Apple Podcasts soon. Yeah, so we'll see you next month in February. I don't know what the topics will be then, but thanks for listening, everyone, and watching. Peace.